This is Manuel Banuelos. I'm here in Montclair. You've seen all night, man. It's been chaotic. The Victorville Sheriff Department went into the crime scene. All the men and the women. You have to understand, the Victorville Sheriff Department, all the sheriffs there, the homeless girls, over the 30, 20 years, they've all raped by the Sheriff Department up there. They've all told me by themselves, one way or another, who they are. I don't know who they are anymore. Those homeless girls are gone. They've been gone. They left the state years ago. I seen things in the middle of the night up there in Victorville. Little girls coming out of police cars, 10 o'clock at night. Young girls. But their dresses raped, running out crying, screaming. And then pretty soon you see them burned in a car with a needle in their arm, burnt to death. That's funny, huh? They made kiddie porn out of there. Victorville Sheriff Department Sergeant Romero's been convicted already for a sex crime called voyeurism. He has that, a couple of them on his jacket. Plus he has kiddie porn. Looking up, he was downloading kiddie porn in his computer, trying to put things in motion for him and some kids. So is Monroe, the lady that runs it. She's also done the same thing. She has everything he has on there. They went into the house yesterday. Christina was in the house, and I can't tell you what time it was. All I can tell you is I'm going to be able to show you video, because we got the Google Earth, Quest Map, all those things. If you pay $120 or $12 a day, maybe a little bit more on your credit card, you find one of those satellite apps and you pay it, and it'll open it up live for a year for you. And what you can do is you can watch any house you want to. You can watch the parks. You can do whatever you want, sightsee with it. And it has a rewind, so you can put a date in there and rewind all the way to that date and see things that happened years ago. So that house is going to, I can prove that the cops went in there. He broke Christina's arm yesterday. A couple of sheriffs went in there and just cracked her arm. Yeah, and then another one went in there right now and grabbed her and cracked her arm too. Yeah. So I am the richest man in the United States when this is over, period. Those officers in Victorville, I have constitutional rights, do I not? I have the right to possess a firearm. My record allows me to. I have the right to take the threat off my life too, and off my family's life, just like you do. You have the right to protect your property, just like I do. The problem is the constitutional right that tells us we're allowed to possess firearms. For me, they don't allow me to, not because of my record. A few times that I did go to get the money out of my bank to go buy a firearm at the gun shop, they stole the money from Bank of America. They have all my information with the seller. They watch me, everything I do. They would not allow me to possess it. And then when I would go in Ontario to my neighborhood, most of it's already gone, man. These people have sold out years ago. But what happened was, when I go to a neighborhood like that, I'll see some people. I didn't really know them, but they were around the neighborhood. It seemed like they were, either residents. And I would talk to them, and tell them about the satellite real quick. They can't do too much with me. But I tell them I need a cuete home. Say, well, you can help me out, and I got some money. They said, we'll check it out, and they would take off. But believe me, by the time that night was over, they'd come back and tell me, hey, Holmes, the Huda's been on us all fucking night, Holmes, pulling us over. They keep telling us, where's the cuete, where's the cuete? I guess they don't want you to have a cuete, Holmes. So we can't do. I said, I understand that, Holmes. Gracias, thank you very much. That's how bad it is. They hit the neighborhoods. If I'm walking down the street, now this happened about a year ago. When I was walking down the street on Theta, the sheriff cars, the police department there would pass me, and chinga, and go to the next spot where there was people at, whether it be homeless or people hanging out, anywhere, because I'm walking. And they would threaten them, tell them, you better not give that man a gun. We're watching that man. That man's wanted for all kinds of crime. A bunch of bandera. So everywhere I went, they would follow me, would get past me, and they were putting damage on me like that. Yeah, they didn't want me to have a cuete. So I am going to get a gun. I'm going to find a way to get me a cuete. You have to understand, I have a lot of responsibility. A lot of it. And, I don't really ask too much. When I do ask, I ask the wrong people. But I'm going to take them cops out, period, with my constitutional right. Propane. That's the first sheriff's station that I went to try to get some homeless people to snap out of the voyeurism And he wouldn't even warn them. They just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. So that's the primary right there. That's the hub of all the pedophiles. I'm going to try to take it out. I don't know if I can. But if you want to help me, I still got to go get these girls out of that house. The police department in Southern California. There's 2 judges. One of them, she presided over me in West Valley 2 years ago. She's the one. Okay, now these people, you got to understand. Phyllis, Henrietta, and Scraffiti, they work in the district attorney's office. They make kiddie porn. Kids, 5, 6 years old, okay? There's a what you call it, it was like I don't know what the kids call. What's that called? When you, like an orphanage ran by the state in San Bernardino. Yeah, I'm just going to call it an orphanage. Phyllis and the public defender and the judges and Sergeant Romero and them and Ontario PD, Sergeant Gabriel, all of these people would go down there. There's also Ranch Cucamonga, Sergeant or Captain Blackman. They go to the fucking Obama and Magic too. They admitted it. I didn't accuse them. They admitted it. That's their problem, Romans. That's not my problem. But anyways, they go to that, what is it called, Lord? That orphanage, and they would sign them out. The cops would sign them out like this. They would sign them out. Because they're state, they could sign them out. And the people that ran it, they trusted them, they let them take them. And they would do pornography with them and send them back. 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old. But when they got 16 or 17, they got older. They were scared that they were going to identify them. So they would take them to Sergeant Romero, and Sergeant Romero would bury them, kill them, and bury the kids in the high desert. They all admitted to it. I seen the orphanage on the internet about 8 months ago. I was going through the internet. The Lord just had me look at it. I looked at it and I seen it. I said, hey, San Bernardino County raids an orphanage for sex, all kinds of sex things. And I read it and I said, something's wrong here, because that MO right there fits Phyllis and these people. It's the same MO. And as soon as I said that, one of the ladies, Sylvia Aguilar, that related to Victor Shidman, she said, Phyllis, he's seen it, Manuel's seen it. We're not going to get away with it. He knows about the orphanage. He knows about it. She said, we'll deal with it later. But then afterwards, they put on a video, and the video showed Steve Sylvia Aguilar, wife, Sylvia, in bed with 4, 5-year-old kids. Yeah, touching them. They were having sex with the little kids. Came on this internet thing. All you guys are looking at it was on the monitors and stuff. Might have been a church, because there was this church I met years ago, but I don't remember them. I remember going to a couple of churches and asking for help, but nobody would help me. But one day I was at the bus stop and this man comes up and he says, how you doing, Manuel? I said, all right. I was waiting for the bus. I thought I knew him, you know. He said, listen, I wanted to let you know we can't help you. I said, excuse me? He says, we can't get involved. But I will let you know from time to time you're going to see things on the monitors. You understand me? We're going to find out the truth of what's going on. It will be revealed. You understand me? I said, yeah. He said, you better watch yourself too. You understand me? I said, yeah. And I'm kind of trying to figure out where I met him from, but I don't know who he was. Maybe somebody that just had access to the probably small church. But he shook my hand. He was a church man. Trust me, he was a church Christian man. We said a few words that had to do with God. He said, thank God we're live another morning, right? And I said, yeah. So it was a church man. But anyways, see, the thing here is they shouldn't have touched them girls that break their arms. Them girls have been put on Department of Justice website 2 years ago. I put them under sex trafficking because they're in the city of Victorville, which is the worst. If you look at Victorville, you have to understand that is the biggest sex offender city than any other city in the United States. That's where they all go, to Victorville. Yeah, I looked it up one day and it said that they're number one, where all the child molesters and all the sex offenders, they all live in Victorville. I just looked it up one day and I seen it. Yeah, that's the number one place they all go. Yeah. So they shouldn't have touched my girls like that. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I can't find my other girls either. Nessa, my granddaughter, 13-year-old, my son Johnny Jr., I don't know where they're at. Jasmine Amador is my niece. She's a sheriff, but she backs these sheriffs up. She backed them up from day one because of my nephew. When my nephew got hit, they went and told Jazzy they needed her help. They didn't want to pay for Tom Jr., even though they're the ones that ordered him to have something that's in his toxicology report given to him. But they told her, we don't want to pay for, can you help? She said, yeah. Then they gave Danny, her husband, her boyfriend, they gave him a new job up there in Atlanta. Oh, no, Apple Valley. I say, he was investigating. But see, they do that to everybody that they try to get out of the way. If they know you know something, they'll give you, if you're like a good cop, a fair cop, they don't want you around because they're dirty, they'll give you a job in Apple Valley, and that's where they stick you, so that way you're happy, but you're out of the way. Yeah. So, she's been backing him up for years, and I went to the Rancho Cucamonga Sheriff Station to file a missing persons report a year and a half ago. And when I went in there, I said, I need to file a missing person report. I said, I called Rialto. I called another police station. He told me, you can go to any sheriff station, any police station in California, and they'll give it to you. You file it there. It's another way to get your family back sooner. If they've been kidnapped, it's a slower process, but it is a process, man. I thanked him. I told him, you won't have to pay for anything. Believe me, sir. You were the only one that gave me an answer straight. I forgot who it was. Anyways, I went there, and the lady was Miss Padilla, Sheriff Padilla. Yeah, she came out, and I said, excuse me, I want to file this. She gave me a piece of paper, but it wasn't a missing persons report. No. You know what it was? It was an incident report form. And I said, I can't use this incident report form. This is not a missing persons report form, ma'am. She would refuse to give me one. So I said, okay, we're on camera, so I'm going to go through the motions then. So I filled it out, the incident report, but it didn't have nothing about Raylene, or doesn't say anything about Christina, doesn't have the color, nothing. It just said me, who you think did it. That's an incident, it's two different things. So I went online, and I looked at it. And guess what? A missing person report form is about, man, it has 4 or 5 pages. There's a lot to fill out, home. The color of your eyes, the things you do, your shoes, what your face. I mean, it's big time. And I was upset, so I left. And she calls me half hour later. She says, Manuel, this is Rancho Cucamonga. We found Raylene. I said, you did? She's at 1812 Tokay Road. No, she's at home. I said, no, she's not at home. She's at 1812 Tokay Road. She said, no, I called her and she said everything's okay. So just forget it now. It's all been done. Just leave it alone. I said, no. If you say you found her, then this is what you're going to do. You're going to bring her, tell her she has to come to the police station with her ID and her birth certificate. And I will identify her. At that point, when she's safe, you can close the case. But I still got to find Christina. She said, oh, you want to see her? I said, yeah, I want to see her. She said, nope. She said, I'll get back to you, Manuel. She never got back to me. It's been almost a year and a half. She never got back to me. She said that Jazzy told her not to do it. Them girls should have been home a long time ago, man. I've been nonstop to every police station trying to get them out. And do you know, I have enough evidence to walk into one police station and get them out the first time they should have been home. It's not like I never succeeded. I did succeed. But they don't want me to get them home. They left them to them so they can do that, what they did to them for 2 years. Now, the Department of Justice, I went online and I said, I went online to the sex trafficking department. The sex trafficking department is a new thing, kind of new. It's really hot right now. They're doing a lot of fucking crackdowns on that. And I put them on as sex trafficking and myself. And figure, well, how could you say yourself 10,000 counts of voyeurism and Phyllis still sells the videos? She sells the videos. Now, there's a district attorney named Simeon. I like Simeon, okay? So I'm going to keep his name out of it. He did some misuse of power, but that's about it, okay? I just want to say that for the record before I get too deep. Nah, he's okay, man. He's ready to retire. Misuse of power, he'll be fine. I just want to clear the record. I don't know why. I just am telling the truth. So anyways, So so she sells the video, that's all. So if you're selling money, making money off somebody, and you're raping them, then that's sex trafficking. It's a different form of sex trafficking. So Phyllis and them, so I had the right to go on the sex trafficking thing. And I put us there, and I put where they're at and where I'm at. Nobody. And I got a report number. Now that report number goes to a database. That number can never be given out again. They go in like alphabetical order numbers per se. Once that number is given, believe me, it goes to a database that number has been given out. Somebody in the United States or in this world got that number. They have to close the case on that number. If that number was issued, then somebody has to be responsible for that fucking number. People do not just disappear in bloody fart fucking world. They failed. That's not misuse of power. They aided and abetted. Well, they better hurry up and do something, because I mailed them another letter, certified, last week, and they still, a certified letter gets there overnight. Nothing yet. On the same thing. I have a phone, I have an email. Department of Justice is in big trouble. So I went to all these police stations in Inland Empire, and I said I want to press charges, open a case on the police department. And there are some people that have, they're no good. The green lights, they've been raping me on voyeurism, a sex offense, and they're informants. So I have to get some paperwork on a few of them, but I need the sheriff's arrest. They say, nope, you're not here, you're not. So they denied me my civil and constitutional rights. And they denied Cynthia, and they denied Raylene. And we all have constitutional rights. Those girls are spotless, so it's wrong what they're doing here. And then, denying at this point. I want to tell you, there's something going on with the immigrants, okay? My dad was Mexicano. He was born in Juarez, and my mom was born in Bakersfield, so we have, family and relatives out there. I don't know, I'm youngest, so I don't know who they are, but we do. I know we have a family in, I had an old uncle, he had a junkyard in Tijuana, Banuelos Junkyard. He owned it for, 40, 50 years. Very known out there, yeah. But anyway, so my heart goes out to them too, because, we're Chicanos, pero todavía, this is where this comes in. You have to understand. In May, I went over to Vegas. I wanted to find some legal representation to close this case in California. The law states, if you go to another state, and these people follow you to another state, the ones that are committing crimes against you, if it's law enforcement, and they're not allowing you to get a representation on the committing crimes with you, and they did it over there in Vegas too, the same thing, then they have broken what they call, the federal government calls, outer state compact. Okay. What it means now, this is the results of outer state compact, because the Victorville Sheriff Department was the first one to break it. I arrived there on May 5th. 3 days earlier, Victorville Sheriff Department had went up there. The same guys that broke Raylene's arm. Mm-hmm. They went up there, and Christina's arm. And they went up there, and they were handing out microphones on the strip. They were giving them money and drugs on the strip. And they were defamating my character, telling them not to help me. Period. Don't nobody help them. Don't take them in. Don't give them sex. Don't do nothing. He told all the girls not to have me sex. I could not get sex of any kind. Make sure that I was treated even worse than over here, because I'm not from over there. They did all the businesses. They went up there and did all the businesses. All the businesses fell for the same thing these people fell for. Yeah. So when I got there, it was already a disaster. Now, back to outer state compact. That means that they broke federal law, that the feds wrote that law. So now what it means, these are the penalties. Okay? Everything now at this point is no longer county and state crimes. They lifted it up. It's on federal guidelines. Everything now is federal. Period. County and state are not allowed to take you in. Period. They can't mess with you anymore. They're not supposed to chase you. They're supposed to stop automatically. Boom. That's it. Only the feds can do it. If they continue to chase you, which they did, and they lost every department, the penalty is The department that they come out of is gone. Boom. Everybody's fired. Boom. You lost the reputation. You lost the reputation. You lost your jobs. You lost everything. Yeah. I can hear Montclair in the background threatening me again. They're going to take me and hit me on the head. They don't understand. My God tells me these are the number one bad guys here. They lost their jobs on me, but they want to continue to push. One more threat or one more approach me, and I'll press crimes on every crime that happened here. I'll press those crimes. I don't want to, but I will. Don't say another word to me, man. You just lost your jobs. So now you say, okay, now for the audience out there listening, you say, okay, so but that pertains to you. No, it doesn't pertain to only me. You have to understand this. The crimes that they committed on to me in Vegas, which they broke outer state compact and brought me to a federal level now, is what? The voyeurism continued. What is in voyeurism? Invasion of one's privacy. That's constitutional. Making illegal pornography and raping someone with technology. That's it. 15 to life. That's state. What else did they do? They tortured me. Okay. This is how this is the common denominator between me and all the people that need to come out of county, state, and prison, rich men with the regular fund, and people on the streets, the neighborhoods that are still good. All this from LA all the way down, man. Colonia Chiques, Oceanside, Santa Ana, all these people, all these vatos, black, white, Chicanos. This is the common denominator. Okay. The frequency from the illegal satellite, it followed me all the way over there to Vegas. Okay, still torturing me. Back in California, the internet, the police internet that goes to every district attorneys, public defenders, courthouse, police station, sheriff station, police car, sheriff car. Okay. They get that internet comes from a private industry, or private, it's a private sector called Cleats. It's a department that's, I don't think it's the company exists, Cleats, but I don't do a background, but it's a company all on its own. But those people are the only ones that are allowed, because I guess security clearance and the insurance and everything that they got that nobody else probably can get, the people that own that company, those people shoot out the internet to all law enforcement all over the world. Okay? What they did, Phyllis and District and Graffiti, he went to them, he had to, and injected the illegal frequency inside the internet. So when that internet flows down, so does the frequency. Goes right above it, side by side. Okay. Bear with me. Side by side. Yeah. If you have, it's an illustration, a warrant, and you get yourself a warrant, and you get yourself one of them here bugs, like a bug. What's that? Like, you know, like you can bug your phone, they can tap your phone. You get you a legal tap, and you put it on somebody's phone. Let's just say you're a police officer, you put it on the phone. You're listening. You got a legal warrant to do that, because the dude did something, so you were able to do that. Now, if you have, and then you get another one that is not legal, you just put another one next to it. You put them right next to each other, and you're listening on both of them. Which one takes precedent? The illegal one. You just shot down the legal one. It's no good no more, because you put an illegal one right next to it. You can't. Everything that you got on that one, no good. You lost the whole case. You blew it. Do you understand? They blew it. Okay? So, now, On January 3rd. Okay, so now we're back to, so now you understand that that's what causes the constitutional, the civil, constitutional, and human rights, our lives, our liberties, our happinesses, our pursuits. Okay. This is why, for 40 years, to this day, everybody is going to get paid. Now, hear me out. It's not over. I'm putting this on YouTube. Okay? As soon as they arrested you in a police car, they had 2 illegal wiretaps in there. It's illustration. Now, as soon as they put the cuffs and they set you in there, the frequency that's not recognized by the FCC is in there. Man, right there. Everything after that, you were innocent. Period. 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 There's no need to go any further. Does that mean that the police officer did something wrong? No. The good news for the police officer is that they mellow out, some of them, except for Victorville. For sure Victorville not going to get this. They're assigned police cars. They go to work, punch in, give me a police car. Boom, they give it to them. If it has an illegal satellite frequency, that's not their problem. How's that their problem? Not their fucking problem. They don't fucking pay for the internet. They get in the car, they use the tools that are designed to them, and they take off home. So they're not in trouble. No, they're not in trouble. And if you're good with me, chances are you don't even have to pay back your IRS. Victorville will. But nobody else will have to pay back your IRS because you were issued a card. Meaning, even if you knew it, it doesn't matter. Listen to me. Everybody knows about Tom, Dick, and Harry. That doesn't mean that I fucked Tom, Dick, and Harry. They got into the patrol car and they did the rounds. Bottom line, even up to the captain, I issued them. You people do not pay me to check for frequencies above a fucking car. My job is to get these commanders, get this station rolling. So they're not in trouble. They don't have to pay back the money. Okay? Their taxes. Okay. Now, the thing about this is, now you have to understand, why can't the men use this on their own? You have to understand, brother. The satellite's illegal. So everything that you guys are hearing right now is illegal. So basically, to you guys, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Just, it's gossip. I'm the victim. Because why? Here we go now. Back to January 3rd, 2024. I was at 24 Hour Fitness. I just came back from the crime scene to try to get my 2 girls back. It wasn't a good one. I stood there 2 days, nothing could. They wouldn't open the door or anything. So I came back all pissed off. I walked into the gym. It was 8 o'clock at night. And when I walked in there, the 2 ladies were, they were doing voyeurism to me. But I'm not tripping off that because I came up with a solution for that. But anyway, I shouldn't even said it then. Anyways, I was arrested there, okay? Now, I was put into the car and I was taken to West Valley, okay? That's where the problem is right there. It's not so much the arrest. I can care less about the arrest. I was taken to West Valley. When I got to West Valley, okay, booked me on terrorist threat. They said I threatened her. I never threatened her. They said I did, but I never. I'll fight it in court real quick. I should get OR'd because I've been in trouble 30 years. What happened was they did not OR me. Okay, they let me, well, they took me in the cell. In 3 days, you have to be arraigned. That's our part of our process that is due to us in 72 hours, part of your constitutional right, that you have to arraign everybody in 72 hours, no later. They did not arraign me in 72 hours. They arraigned me 18 days into the month. Mind you, that was the 4th. Now we're on the 18th, and they're barely taking me to court. Bad move. As I get into the courtroom, I asked my public defender and the judge, something's wrong here. And I told him, you can't keep me. I know my rights. And so they did the homework. And she looked over to the public defender. She told the public defender to do the homework. The lady did look over and she told him, yeah, she says, it's against his constitutional rights. That's all she said. They made me come back the next day. And they sentenced me to 90 days. They would not let me go. Now, why is that crucial? That's the case I'm trying to get in for all of us. Why? This is why. To get everybody, their money and everything, to get it done, president in court. False arrest. And what does everybody else have in Southern California outside the forum? False arrest. Okay? False arrest. I also was denied my what? My constitutional rights in the courtroom. The courtroom says that it would be there's a court. So what does it say? You have to have a fair courtroom. You have I forgot how it's called. There's some kind of thing that they say, but the courtroom has to be right, and it wasn't right. But once again, my constitutional rights were denied me. Your guys' constitutional rights were denied you too. Yeah, you were sentenced in a courtroom where you should not have been sentenced, period. Neither should I. There it is. We got our what? We got our false arrest. Same satellite, same frequency. False allegations, false arrest, false imprisonment. See? Now we're talking, it's all the same, see? Now, not only that, the evidence comes in now. Because that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for false arrest, false imprisonment, and denial of one civil constitutional right and our human rights. That's what this is about. Now, and pain and suffering come down. That's lawsuit. That's all lawsuit money. But not only did they do that, they kept the satellite over the county jail for 90 days. Well, it's up there. You can see it on any Google satellite. It'll be right above there for 90 days. Now, they tortured me inside the county jail for 90 days like this. And they'll show that frequency I showed earlier. They'll show that frequency right on my head inside the county jail. Now, torture. And they did voyeurism to me. Federal voyeurism. I'm a federal disabled. Any crime against the disabled is a federal crime, even a misdemeanor. Still federal. Guidelines say I am part of federal. Federal government pays for my money, my shoes, my clothes, my food. It ain't shit, but they make it work. That's what they tell you. All right. Supposed to pay for my housing, they're reliable for me, period. So, boom, they didn't do that. They tortured me, and when I was in there, they were doing federal voyeurism because they were using the satellite in there to watch me. The frequency would show, the green light was on my head. So if they did that to me, they did it to all the men and women in there too, because anything that stimulates them from me, I'm in the county jail, they're doing voyeurism to me. The men take showers too next to me, all of them do. So what do we do? They were doing voyeurism to them too, federal voyeurism. You don't have to be a federal disabled. It stimulates for me, hits me, it bangs out to every inmate. False arrest, false imprisonment. So boom, there we go. Satellite, false arrest, false imprisonment. What everybody got that's in the pen. Denial of civil constitutional rights. We have a courtroom. Everybody was sentenced in a courtroom. Illegally sentenced. I was illegally sentenced. They didn't give me my 72 hours constitutional due process. That's the case that's going to bring and that's the one I'm trying to get in courtroom. It'll say Manuel Banuelos. Voyeurism. No, Manuel Banuelos. It'll say crime. It'll say 10,000 counts of voyeurism. I have to put that on. I'm not a rata. And it'll say denying of one's civil, constitutional, and human rights, false arrest, false imprisonment, so on. And it'll say 100 or how many million? I don't know. Let's just say there's 100 million. 100 million men and women out of Southern California. And then it'll have a packet, a big old phone book with all the names of everybody. And I'm taking that thing with me and my lawyer and I have everybody's name on it like a fucking phone book. Everybody from black, white, Chicano. And my lawyer will have 3 or 4 lawyers bring it into the courtroom and say, this is what we're fighting for. Right here. That one case, same common denominator. Okay? The good news is, guess what? With all that, as soon as our team of lawyers, the federal prosecutor and my lawyer, go down to the state, county, and federal lawyer and say, listen, we have to show you our evidence. Here you go. Let me show it to you first. And they're going to tell them, you guys cannot go to court on this or trial on this. Why? The legal satellite will come up. You're going to try to defend yourself. on a weapon that's not allowed in the United States of America. And even if it was allowed, it's 10 times worse because it's not the satellite per se, though it is. It's how they used it. The invasion of one's privacy, the illegal tapping into a legal internet. It's even worse. You cannot go to trial. You'll lose the news, the media. You'll lose 10,000 times more money on the lawsuits. They'll get you even law. You do not want to do what you want to do is work with Manuel Banuelos. He has all the answers. And thank God if he is up there, he keeps telling you, give him back his family and start working with Manuel. Manuel knows what's best for him and his family. And he's going to try to do the best after talking to all the men and women who I have to of Southern California, of all races, colors, and creeds. You can't go to trial. You're going to have to give him a verdict immediately. I'm sorry. It's just too much evidence. And you know what? They're just going to make a judgment. Bam. And they're going to tell CDC you had to start packing up buses and sending them home. Everybody's rolling it up in California, prisons, men and women. Now, the good news for CDC is this. CDC doesn't have to take a hit on this, period, because they get paid to house you. Show me where CDC itself, if you're listening, I don't care who you are, show me where CDC had anything to do with the arrest. They didn't. Show me where CDC had anything to do. Hold on now. No, I know what you got to think, but CDC County is part of CDC. That's not what I'm talking about. We're not talking about the building. The satellite, it's above the building. That's not their problem. They're not supposed to. What do you want? The man that runs the county jail to go outside and say, let me see which one of this is. He's not going to do that. It's not his responsibility. Okay? It's not. It's really not. What goes on in the courtroom, even though it's his building, what goes on in that courtroom is run by judges, district attorneys. That's their business, Holmes. CDC don't get involved in that. What do they get? You either staying in the county or you're going to prison. Which one is it? Give us the paperwork. They get paid to houses. The good news is we don't want to mess with CDC because you never know. We're going to end up back in places home. Now, I know I'm not trying to say that it's going to happen, but we don't fuck up the places where we kick back at. You know what I'm saying? We go shit somewhere else. So I'm trying to keep that open mind for CDC, period. Excuse me, I moved the camera. I'm so sorry. I hope you heard me. Don't be dismayed or thrown off because I moved the camera off me. So CDC, we want to make sure that CDC works with us so that the vacating of the prison system, it goes together with our freedoms and liberty. A good time to party. Maybe CDC will throw in a big ass goddamn meal. Everybody, today we're going to have another Christmas dinner because most of you guys are going to start going out. 7 buses a day are going out every day. We want to have a good occasion. You know, them dudes at CDC, they don't give a shit. Man, if you got a free ticket from God, man, get on out of here, home. Don't come back here. That's the way they are. You know the way they are. If it's a homie, hey brother, how's skin local? Don't come back here, man. You know, you got yourself a little gracia, a little grace from the man upstairs, whether you believe it or not. Take it and use it. Get your money. You got a clean record. Don't come back here. You know how the way it is with some. See, most of them, 90% of them, not too bad. Some of them are puta, but either way, you know. So I'm going to try to keep CDC out of this here thing like this. Now, so if I get that one case and it brings president, I want to make president with that one case, everybody will come out, everybody will have, you don't know how much. Now remember, we're going to sue. Now this has nothing to do with these people. Money has nothing to do with these people. That goes way above. But we can sue federal level now, all of us, because I'm trying to get one case, president for all of us, and they hit that case. They tortured me on that case. They stopped me from getting a lawyer in Vegas. They've been tapping my phone. They're not allowing us. So they broke federal compact with everybody. Believe me. So what happens is we're going to get federal money, not state and county money. Though we're going to sue state and county, on federal court, in federal court, you still get federal money for CDC. I mean, for state and county. You're still going to get federal money. You get 10 times more money on federal money. You don't want state and county money. You won't take state and county to federal courthouse and sue them there. That's what we're going to do. But once the public defenders and all them bring everybody back, everybody's on their own. You have to find your own lawyer. You're going to have to find all that. You have to get your court date in there to get your money. Everybody's on their own then. I'm hoping we'll have a lot of lawyers ready to go. They're going to need thousands of lawyers on me. Thousands of them on me. It's a lot of people. It's a time to celebrate. It's a time to thank God. It's a time to return to our families, our neighborhoods, and pick up the pieces that we had left on. Now, the 3-strike law, I know what you're worried about. Okay? It's not only for San Bernardino County. Will the 3-strike law have to come into effect here? Well, I can do it 2 different ways to my case. Because, see, you have to understand, I'm going to give some leniency for Sacramento right now. I'm going to shut my mouth. 3-strike. I'm going to shut my mouth. I don't want to put us in a bad place with Sacramento, even though they don't have nothing to do with it. Still. Okay? It's going on the internet. LA County, San Bernardino County, Orange County, I believe San Diego, all of them are all ran, even the FBI's ran through cleats. The frequencies ran through every single one of them. So everybody, Rivas, everybody gets to come out, Holmes, in the Pintas. Everybody coming out, Holmes. It's just the way God sees it, Holmes. I don't know what to tell you, Holmes. I know it sounds too good to be true, but I'm being honest. It's all there. Vato gave it to me, Holmes, everything. Ahí está, Holmes. One more thing, I know the Lord for 30 years. Remember that. I love the Lord. I'm just not able to walk in it right now. That's why you see me like this. It took them 30 years to finally get a hold of me. They were just doing it little by little by little by denying me my civil, my constitutional rights. They were doing murdering my wife. They were making me miss up a relationship. They were costing me jobs. They were just following me all the way. They were little by little tapping away at my life. And finally, look at me now. You can see it, huh? I don't seem like a Cristiano. That's one man in the United States of America who doesn't have civil constitutional rights, and he's on the street. You know? So one more last thing. What was I going to say? Something good about CDC. I was going to say something about CDC. Actually, I think that's about all of it. That's what's simple. Now, back to what the Outer State Compact. It's in effect right now. Now, because they still have the internet frequency hooked up together, if you get arrested today, you got money coming. It starts all over again. Anybody that's on the street, you're getting arrested. 250 million. Why 250 million? You're on federal level now. Everybody is. So it's bad. For them, it's bad. For us, I'm trying to make it easy as possible. Now, this is the other thing. I'm the only one that can sign off on Outer State Compact. I'm going to leave the feds out of it too, kind of. I'll give them a little grace. State and county are shut down. They're not allowed to arrest anyone right now. No, 2 months they haven't been able to. Anyone they arrested, supposed to have them out already. They can't arrest anyone on a daily basis. They just can't. I have to sign off on it. In front of a lawyer or in front of a federal prosecutor or district attorney, whatever it is, somebody, I have to sign off saying, okay, but in order to do that, I have to be restored. What do you mean restored? Well, part of the crimes that are committed against us, me, and everybody else that's behind me is civil, constitutional, human rights. So I have to get that case inside a courtroom, get it, they have to schedule that case, put it on the calendar so we can get that court read. Second, I need all my family rounded up home, period. I need them all in a safe place immediately, period, homes. And that should about do it. Once the case is heard, and we get the verdict, I'll sign, come on, bring the paper, and I'll sign it off, homes. And then at that point, they're legit again. Counties open, states open. Most police stations, if Orange County's good, believe me, I've been there. I don't fuck with those fucking officers up there. Them officers up there, the sheriffs and the marshals and shit up there. I went to a courthouse up there. I was impressed, huh? They would, because I went in there, they're kicking back right there. When you walk in, you gotta go through the metal detector. They're tripped out. They're all healthy homes. You can tell they're healthy homes. Yeah, they're not all tweaked out. They're a healthy home. And they like to look at you. They bullshit. They try to break the ice with you, homes. You know what I mean? They're cool people, man. I don't know. I got that impression. I knew I'm around the old school type of food house from the 80s and 90s, you know. And then I went into the cafeteria over there in the courthouse. I went into the cafeteria and I bought me some food at lunchtime to eat. There was district attorneys, public defense lawyers. Everybody was in there, and they were sitting all around me. And do you know what? As I was dozing off, I had my phone. I was doing some paperwork. I was just tired, and I started dozing off. I must have dozed off 15 minutes. When I opened my eyes, not one person was looking at me. Not one person gave me a look. Not one person even noticed I was even in there. Like a normal, everyday occurrence. I couldn't believe it. I swear to God, I said, I don't know where I'm at, man. I'm not saying that they're better. I'm not saying that. I'm not putting up. They just ran things the old way. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying. They don't care if I impress them or they impress me. But it really made something here in my eyes. I said, man, there's still good law. There's law for me to find to get these girls home. And I never gave up. And they were a big part of what I seen. So anyways, that's going to go on the internet. You guys have to understand, get this. Give me a comment if you can't comment me. Give me an email back. Tell me what's going on. You know, if I can, listen, I need all kinds of. I need a lot of prayer, and I need some people to reach me back. I have to be able to find the lawyer homes, but they're watching me when I get on the internet homes, and there's no calls are coming back to my phone. It's just hard. If you guys can get me, if you're out there and you got some money coming home, if you can find a civil constitutional lawyer that deals in misuse of power or false imprisonment, one of those lawyers, maybe you can call me and set up an appointment where I can go and see him and talk for myself, or you can go with me, whatever you feel like you can do. Any suggestions, please email me at manuelbanuelos123@gmail.com. Okay? Rato, gracias. Thank you for your time, and may the Lord be with you.